Losing a loved one is one of the most profoundly difficult experiences we face. In the midst of grief, families are often asked to make quick decisions about funeral arrangements, including questions they may have never considered before.
One of the most common, yet frequently misunderstood, aspects of end-of-life care is embalming. What exactly does this process entail, and when is it truly legally or practically required? In this video, we will explore the purpose, process, and legal requirements of embalming with empathy and respect, helping you navigate these difficult choices with clarity and peace of mind. What exactly is embalming? For many, the word alone can evoke feelings of uncertainty or unease, often fueled by pop culture. Simply put, embalming is the scientific process of temporarily preserving a human body to delay the natural breakdown that occurs after death. It essentially buys time, allowing families the precious days they need to gather from out of town, grieve together, and hold a meaningful viewing or service. There are a lot of misconceptions surrounding this practice. The most common myth, that embalming preserves a body forever, like ancient mummification. In reality, modern embalming is strictly a temporary measure. It does not stop the natural course of things indefinitely, but rather pauses it for a short period, typically a week or two. Another myth is that embalming is an invasive, disrespectful process. On the contrary, licensed embalmers are highly trained professionals governed by strict ethical codes. Their primary goal is to treat the deceased with the utmost dignity, restoring a peaceful appearance to provide a comforting final memory for the family. To understand embalming, it helps to know the basic steps involved. The procedure takes place in a clean, sterile preparation room, much like a surgical operating theater. Here, trained professionals follow strict health and safety protocols to ensure both the dignity of the deceased and the safety of the living. The core of the process involves two main stages. First is arterial embalming. Using the circulatory system, a preserving fluid is gently introduced. This fluid replaces blood to temporarily halt the natural breakdown of tissues. The second stage is cavity treatment, where fluids from internal organs are removed to further preserve the body. Once preservation is complete, the focus shifts to presentation. By carefully applying specialized cosmetics, styling hair, and dressing the individual, the embalmer recreates a natural, peaceful appearance. During this entire process, funeral directors work closely with families, offering comfort and guidance to ensure every detail honors their loved one. The ultimate goal of this meticulous and respectful procedure is to provide a comforting final image. Seeing a loved one resting peacefully in their casket from a gentle, respectful distance can offer family and friends a profound sense of closure as they gather to say their final goodbye. At its heart, the practice of embalming is deeply rooted in compassion, respect, and closure. For families navigating the incredibly difficult and emotional journey of grief, this specialized care provides the precious gift of time. Time to gather loved ones from near and far, time to process the loss, and time to say a proper, dignified goodbye. The primary purpose of this process is to temporarily preserve the human body, specifically allowing for a meaningful public viewing or an open casket service. Seeing a loved one at peace can be a profoundly comforting experience for those left behind. Embalming aims to restore a natural, restful appearance to the deceased. This gentle presentation helps ease the initial shock of loss, allowing family and friends to confront the reality of death in a supportive environment. It ensures the individual is presented with dignity, surrounded by beautiful floral tributes and the people who cherished them most. However, the necessity of embalming often extends beyond the quiet walls of the viewing room. In our modern world, families are frequently spread across the globe. When a loved one passes away far from their final resting place, embalming becomes a practical and legal requirement. It ensures the deceased can be safely and respectfully transported over long distances. Whether it is a journey across state lines in a hearse or a commercial flight returning them to their home country, this procedure makes the vital transportation possible. A common misconception is that embalming is always a legal requirement. In reality, whether it is necessary depends entirely on a combination of legal requirements and practical necessities.
let us explore exactly when embalming is legally mandated and when it is chosen for practical reasons. In the United States, there is no blanket federal law requiring embalming for every death. Instead, regulations vary by state. For example, in California, embalming is generally not required by law, unless the burial or cremation does not take place within a specific time frame, usually 24 to 48 hours. State laws typically mandate embalming or refrigeration only when there is a significant delay before final disposition. This ensures public safety and slows decomposition. Additionally, if the individual passed away from a highly infectious disease, local authorities might cite public health concerns and require specific preservation measures before handling. Another major legal trigger is transportation. If a body needs to be transported across state lines via commercial airlines or shipped internationally, regulations strictly apply. A shipping permit is required, and carriers almost always mandate embalming to comply with interstate transport laws and international health regulations. Beyond the law, there are practical necessities. If a family chooses to hold an extended viewing or an open casket funeral days after the passing, a funeral home may have its own policy requiring embalming. Sitting down with a funeral professional helps families navigate these options, balancing legal mandates with their personal wishes. While embalming is a common practice, it is rarely required by law, and many families today are exploring alternative ways to honor their loved ones. Understanding these options empowers you to make choices that align with your personal values, religious beliefs, or environmental concerns. The primary alternatives to embalming include immediate burial and direct cremation, which typically take place shortly after passing. If a delay is necessary, refrigeration is a safe and legal method of preservation. Additionally, green burials are becoming increasingly popular, focusing on returning the body to the earth naturally, without the use of chemical preservatives. Every state has different regulations regarding preservation timelines, so it is important to ask questions. Whether you choose traditional embalming, cremation, or a natural burial, the right choice is simply the one that brings peace and comfort to you and your family. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope this comprehensive guide has helped you understand the embalming process, its purpose, and the specific circumstances when it is truly required. Navigating end-of-life decisions is never easy, but being informed can bring comfort and clarity during difficult times. If you found this information helpful, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more valuable insights. We also invite you to leave a comment below with your thoughts, questions, or personal experiences. Your engagement helps us reach and support more families. For additional resources, detailed guides, and compassionate support tailored to your family's needs, please visit funeralus.com. We are dedicated to helping you every step of the way. Thank you once again for watching. Take care, and we will see you in our next video.